The state of crime and dysfunction in Alice Springs seems to have fallen off the public agenda, but it's still very much a real problem for the country's centre. In April, a 12-year-old student hijacked a school bus and took it for a joyride. Have a look at that.
Oh, you little shit. You f***ing what?
Now, another vehicle has been allegedly stolen and driven off by children aged under 12 this week, and the principal of Yipirinya school in the Alice, Gavin believes the town is now at crisis point with youth crime. He joins me now. Gavin, this incident is the third time, I believe, school students have allegedly stolen a vehicle in Alice Springs in just over a month. What is going on?
Good afternoon, Caleb. Yes, it's been a pretty rough week here at Yipirinya school. Certainly our students are trying to tell us something, and in terms of the voice, we need to be making sure that we're listening. So last Thursday night, a group of 10-year-olds broke into Yipirinya school and stole a whole bunch of bus keys, including a minibus, drove it through the front gate of the school and around Alice Springs before getting captured by police. And with the new age of responsibility in Central Australia, those students were returned home to a responsible parent. Many of those students, Caleb, came to school the next day, attended school the next day, only to break in again that night, which was really disappointing. And then Monday night, I got a phone call at around 10 p.m, a heartbreaking phone call that a group of Yipirinya students between 10 and 12-year-old had stolen a car and crashed into a tree at 80 kilometres an hour with those seat belts on. So I quickly went straight to the hospital to meet them there, and it was pretty terrifying scenes.
And you've got to deal with this stuff on the front line, right? Because no one else is. No one else is actually doing anything about it. And earlier in the year, we did a lot of work here at Sky about it, a lot of reporting, which focused mostly at the time on grog-related crime in Alice. But clearly there is a youth crime problem as well. And you say these kids are meant to be taken home to a responsible parent. Well, if they're rocking up again the next day and doing exactly the same thing, it's pretty hard to argue they're going home to responsible parents, isn't it?
Well, 2 points to make here, Caleb, and let's be really clear. These kids are crying out for help because they're trying to say something, they're trying to have a voice, and they're not being heard. They are absolutely stuck in trauma and they feel unsafe. They fear for themselves, they fear for their livelihoods, and there's no questions at all. What they're trying to tell us here is, give me my voice, I need your help. That's our belief in terms of what is the intention behind the stealing of the buses and the breaking in of the school. And secondly, Caleb, I'd like to also mention that when I left our students in the hospital on Monday night to go and collect their parents to bring them back in to meet their 10 and 12-year-olds who have just been in a car accident, some of the places that I was going to were houses in town camps with very loving families. Other places where I was waking up parents who were sleeping on a mattress outside in the middle of the night on the banks of the Todd River, or in tents, who have been there as long as I've been at Yipirinya, which is getting close to 2 years, long-term accommodation of our 10 and 12-year-olds living in that sort of absolute poverty. And you can't expect those parents and those children to live in those places, to overcome those barriers, and then to participate as active citizens in society. It's just too much to ask. Well, what you're actually saying, Caleb, is we want our voice, and there's a voice referendum coming up, and I understand it's a really big moment for the nation. But at the moment in our town camps, their voice is not being heard. And at Yipirinya, in our community, we've been absolutely calling on the federal government, particularly the member for Linkiari, Mariam Scrimshaw, to listen to our voice at Yipirinya. Stop abandoning us. Stop ignoring us. Stop trying to make us feel like that our version of reality is some sort of foreign universe. We're calling for federal support to ensure that we've got safe, stable accommodation for our students. We've been able to triple the enrolment in our school by listening to community. And what we've got at the moment, Caleb, is a community-based solution to a community who owns their own problems, and at the moment we're being ignored.
It's just extraordinary, and apparently another advisory body is going to fix it. It's unbelievable. Gavin Morris, thank you so much for your time tonight.